How is it going, everybody? Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. It's an early morning over here, and today is Metroid's 35th anniversary. 35 years ago, August 6th, 1986, Metroid made its debut officially in Japan and later hit elsewhere on the NES in North America. We got Metroid 35 years ago. It's been 35 years in the making. That is insane. Happy 35th anniversary to Metroid. And today we just got a trailer, teaser trailer at the end of this article. It's actually at which I'll put the links to the website and to the trailer that I got it from specifically in the description below if you guys want to check it out yourselves. But I just wanted to make this video to talk about the trailer and just to go over the series in general, because I can't call myself a mega fan of the series like I claim I am if I don't make a video like this. But just getting into it, this specific Metroid Dread volume report I wanted to touch on first, or I wanted just to touch on in general, because this one explains all 4 of the games leading up to Dread and goes into the backstory a little of the series, and just it's perfect. It's a perfect fit for the occasion today. Everything Metroid is what I want to see today. Everything Metroid, guys, everything. So to jump right into it and to apologize preemptively, I'm gonna stutter over some of my words. This isn't the first time I've attempted to read all this. I don't know, as soon as I start to get to read things, then my mind's like, yeah, we're not gonna work right now, boss. We'll meet you back when you're off the mic. Like, thanks, leaving me hanging like that. But jumping straight into this, Metroid Dread Report Volume 4. There are 3 previous to it, and there'll be many more to come. Which they need to do more of these report volumes for their other titles as well. Not just Metroid, but other Mario, Zelda, and even sequels. More Metroids, more Marios. It's perfect. A perfect way to get the story going for the series. Unraveling a saga 35 years in the making. So on August 6th, 1986, the first game in the entire Metroid series, simply titled Metroid, released as a family computer disk system's title in Japan, arriving later elsewhere for the Nintendo Entertainment System, or the NES. This game kicked off a saga surrounding the intertwined fates of bounty hunter Samus Aran, or Aaron, and the enigmatic Metroid species, a saga that will conclude with the upcoming Metroid Dread game. So sad and disappointed to hear that we're gonna end at least the Metroid saga, but who knows what'll come later. You know, they most likely have plans. The 5th game in what is commonly called the 2D Metroid series. Here's a closer look at how the story unfolds throughout each game in the 2D series. Can you figure out how some of their secrets may connect to Metroid Dread? Hopefully. So, Metroid 1986, the very first one. So it came out a year later for us on the NES, 1987. Alright. So I've played this game. I haven't beat it very freaking hard. This game does not hold your hand. And I've played it, but I have not beat it. But I definitely need to beat it. The Metroid species, an unknown floating life form, is discovered on planet SR388. I don't know how many 8s I said there, but by the Galactic Federation, the space pirates based on planet Zebes, steal the Metroids from Federation researchers and plot to weaponize the power of these mysterious creatures. To stop the space pirates, the Galactic Federation turns to the most powerful bounty hunter in the galaxy, Samus Aran, or Aaron. Samus touches down on planet Zebes and successfully destroys the space pirate underground fortress along with their mastermind, the organic supercomputer Mother Brain. So, this is just some, like it says, little artwork from the game. Here we got Samus herself. Then this is Ridley, believe it or not. Ridley's Believe It or Not, get it? But this is Ridley. This is like his original Inception. There's Kraid, obviously. Then just some random enemies throughout the game that you'll encounter. Good to know, the beginning of the alternate end. The end screen of Metroid changes based on your completion time. One of the most notorious things that happen in the Metroid series as well. Depending on how fast you complete it and if you 100% it, will depend on your ending. But by playing again and again, you can figure out how to complete the game faster and see other versions of the end screen. You can find familiar alternate takes on the end screen throughout the series. So it doesn't mention it here, but if you beat it, I think as fast as you can. I can't remember exactly how fast you got to beat this one. But it'll show Samus out of her suit and in a bikini, and that's when Nintendo officially showed that it was a girl and not a guy like many people thought, at least first thought. This very first game marks the start of the strange interconnected fates of Samus and the Metroid, a story arc that reaches its conclusion in Metroid Dread, which is also sad. I'm gonna miss those little guys. This game set the signature mold for the series, exploring maze-like areas and using weapon and ability upgrades to reach new locations. It also established the universe and tone while introducing iconic music and sound effects. By the way, the word Metroid comes from combining metro in the sense of an underground train system with android, a humanoid robot. Interesting for those who don't know. The original Metroid game was remade in 2004's Metroid Zero Mission for the Game Boy Advance system. Fantastic remake, by the way. Great game. Highly recommend it for those who can play it. Nintendo needs to bring back their virtual consoles like they did on the Wii U to the Switch. It'll literally be a missed opportunity if they don't. This remake added a stealth portion where Samus is without her power suit and must move forward while staying hidden from the space pirates to survive. We believe you can feel a connection between this section of the game and Metroid Dread. So, little spoiler for those who don't know. For those who don't want to know, this is a spoiler. Towards the end of Zero Mission, you are shot out of the sky and you don't have your power suit, right? And so you gotta basically go find it. And the way to do that is you gotta dodge a bunch of space pirates, and because you're in your Zero suit, and you can die quickly to these guys. So you finally get to a Chozo's rune room, and you gotta fight this Chozo spirit. And once you basically prove yourself worthy, the spirit rewards you with your very iconic Varia suit that Samus is known for carrying on in the Metroid games. So that's the first time you acquire your Varia suit. But I think that connection with the Chozo, how you find their spirit and connect with them, that's the part I think they're talking about. How you can feel the connection between that and Metroid Dread. So, Metroid 2, Return of Samus. The Galactic Federation takes the incident with the space pirates on planet Zebes very seriously, as they should. They send a research ship to planet SR-388 to confirm the existence of the Metroid there. However, the ship disappears. A rescue unit is sent to SR-388, but contact is lost with them as well. The Federation concludes that the subterranean Metroid creatures are responsible. Samus is called once again, this time to exterminate the Metroid threat on SR-388. After many deadly battles with the Metroid in their various evolutionary forms, Samus confronts and defeats the Queen Metroid, making a successful end to the mission. Unexpectedly, a newborn Metroid hatches in front of Samus as she is the first creature it sees. The larva imprints on Samus and believes her to be its mother. Samus can't bring herself to kill the hatchling, so she takes it back to the Galactic Federation Space Science Academy for study. One of the worst things she could have done, by the way. You'll find out soon. So there's Samus in her iconic Varia suit. You could tell by the shoulders she got going on, and then the strong knee pad, how it has like a spike in it. Then the Space Jump boot now has a spike in it too back there. You can't really see that, but there's your iconic Metroid. There's another form that is a Metroid. It's just transformed, and that's the Queen Metroid. There's a lot more stages to the Metroids than this. This is just only a brief showing because there's way too many to show on this little screen. But yeah, this is just an overview. And then of course you got these two creatures, that one being pretty important to the series for those who know. And obviously your iconic Chozo statue where you get all your items from. It is believed that the Chozo once lived on SR-388, and remains of their civilization, including high-tech machinery and weapons they developed, can be found throughout the planet, which you can find throughout a lot of the Metroid games, like in Metroid Prime 3 when you go to Elysia. In the Metroid Samus Returns game for the Nintendo 3DS, another fantastic game and one that is very close to the systems that they'll be using, like the game mechanics they'll be using for Metroid Dread. So if you want to know how if it'll work similarly, and if you really want to get a feel of how it could be before it comes out, definitely check out Samus Returns for the 3DS. A remake of Samus 2 Return to Samus, or Metroid 2 Return to Samus, players can unlock secret clues surrounding the fate of the Chozo on planet SR-388. So these are the end screens you can find if you beat the game, and beat certain challenges I think these ones have. And these are the Metroids attacking the X-Parasite. That's what these are. And that's what basically the Chozo made. So these are the Chozo here. These are the Chozo inventing the Metroid. And literally they're unleashing them upon the SAX Parasite because, or not the SAX, but the X Parasite, because Metroids are the only ones that can combat the X Parasites, believe it or not. So that's why they were made in the first place. Pretty interesting. The Metroid 2 Return to Samus and Metroid Samus Returns games depict the first encounter between Samus and the Metroid hatchling. These chapters also include descriptions of Chozo civilization, which makes them fundamental to the overarching story of the 2D Metroid series. The Glimpse of Dread video at the end of this article, which you guys saw at the beginning of this video, shows what appears to be Chozo memories. How do you imagine these come to play in the Metroid Dread game? I think it shows towards the end too, how it comes into contact. I know it shows in the video you guys watched. Super Metroid, one of the most iconic in the series. I beat this one start to finish. I've beat Samus Returns, but not Return of Samus. So I didn't beat the original Metroid 2, but I beat the remake. I haven't played the original Metroid 2 though. But definitely played Super Metroid. And of course beat it many times. Fantastic game. The greatly damaged space pirate fortress on planet Zebes has been gradually rebuilt by the survivors of Samus's previous strike. Ridley, the supreme commander of the space pirates, attacks the Space Science Academy and steals the hatchling, known to be the last living Metroid in the universe. To continue the space pirates' goal of weaponizing the species, Samus heads back to the planet Zebes, to retrieve the Metroid and stop the sinister plans of the space pirates. However, in a fierce final battle with the monstrous Mother Brain, the hatchling sacrifices itself to save Samus. After the defeat of Mother Brain, Samus narrowly escapes a self-destructing planet Zebes. The space pirates are wiped out in the blast. So, they basically, from Metroid 1, when she's on planet Zebes and you destroy it and go through that, they're repairing that same planet, and that's Mother Brain. She was just a floating head in a tube in the first game, and now she's this monstrosity when you fight her. So that's Ridley now. That's Kraid, Mother Brain, then your iconic ship, and then of course Samus is badass in all her glory. Good to know, numbering the entries. The Super Metroid and Metroid Fusion games do not have numbers in their titles, but the opening video of each game labels them as Metroid 3 and Metroid 4 respectively. Similarly, you can find Metroid 5 in the beginning of Metroid Dread game announcement trailer. So, transmission from the dev team, the Super Metroid game can be said to offer the greatest flexibility for exploration in the series. You can enjoy similar flexibility in the Metroid Dread game. Depending on how you take advantage of your abilities, you might be able to find ways to obtain weapons, items, and abilities earlier than intended timing. We encourage you to try to discover alternate routes of exploration. That excites me, because Super Metroid is very notorious in the series for sequence breaking, where you can get items sooner than you should be able to, from learning certain abilities that you get later on. When you learn those good in the beginning, like your wall jumps, how you can wall kick. Those who know, I'll try to explain it. Basically, if you have two walls on both sides of you, you can jump on one, and if you can like jump on it and then try to jump off that one as quickly as possible. Like you jump kick. It's a trip the way it looks, but you're basically bouncing from wall to wall. You jump off one wall, go to the next, jump off that one, and it's a fluid motion you have to get down. And it's pretty notorious in the series. I'm terrible with explanations. I'm so sorry, guys. But it's like a wall jump you can do, and if you get to learn it really good from the beginning, and you have that ability from the beginning, if you get to learn it really good, you can get so many items in the beginning that you shouldn't have. Like you can get other energy tanks, you can get the wave beam early in Norfair, you can get all kinds of energy tanks and all kinds of things. And people really hold Super Metroid in high regards because of that. That allows so much replayability just because you can get certain items earlier than intended, because of that sequence breaking. So I'm really excited that they're bringing that back for Dread, and I cannot wait to see, because that doesn't, like, that most of the Metroid games aren't as linear. Like Fusion is a very linear style game, or so is the Prime games. But usually Metroids aren't that linear. It's just you randomly going around finding things, exploring. That's all it is, you know? Like you're exploring an actual like alien planet, you know, for your first time. And that's the feel I feel all Metroids should capitalize on and should really nail it on, is that exploration. And they do for the most part. So it's really interesting to see that coming back. And like it should be, you know, in the series. And as previously mentioned, Fusion kind of goes away from that. This one isn't as linear, especially not as linear as this one is Super Metroid. But I'm very excited from that news. Very excited. I want to play that. I'm gonna play that game to death. Oh, that game's gonna be so badass, especially on the big screens now. Cannot wait. Let's get a discussion going, guys. Tell me how you guys are feeling in the comments below. I love to talk about these things with you guys. How excited are you for these Metroid games and the fact that Metroid's back and it's shining in all her glory? You know, it's been a very underrated franchise, in my opinion. Compared to Zelda and Mario, it hasn't shined as much. Now we live in a time where it is. Thank goodness. It's a great time to be alive. Attack of the X Parasite. So this one is one of the most important Metroids for those who are getting into Dread, because this one is literally gonna link in directly with Dread, considering it comes right before Dread. This is Metroid 4, Metroid Fusion. So Samus is hired by biotech company Biological Space Laboratories, or BSL, to protect a field research unit on planet SR-388. You would think they would have learned to stay off that damn planet. Guess not. Research on the surface goes well until Samus is exposed to an attack by the X parasite, a life form with the ability to mimic organic creatures in their entirety. The parasite puts Samus in critical condition and renders her unconscious. All hope seems lost as the X quickly multiplies and erodes her body. Scientists determine that a vaccine made using a cell culture sourced from the Metroid hatchling in Samus's only chance of survival. Sorry about that. She miraculously escapes death and at the same time becomes the only living creature with immunity to the X parasite. Aboard the BSL station orbiting SR-388, Samus engages in a fierce battle with the SAX, a mimic of Samus in her power suit at full strength, and succeeds in wiping out the X parasite, destroying the station and planet SR-388 in the process. What they should have mentioned here too is at the end of Metroid Fusion, you team up basically with the SAX, and basically you're fighting a huge Metroid at the end. It's another evolution of the Metroid, but this one's kind of mutated, and it's massive. This thing literally one swipes you and it almost kills you. All your energy tanks are gone, similar to the Mother Brain fight in the previous game. And that's what that huge Metroid does in the end. It's huge and it just claws at you, strikes you, and it hurts you. And their only weakness, Metroid's only weakness, are freeze beams. Their weakness is extreme cold. So the SAX has the ice beam, so when it tries to fight the Metroid, the huge Metroid, it swipes at the SAX, and the SAX becomes the little yellow blob creature, or blue, one or the other, can't remember exactly, but then it absorbs itself into Samus and it gives it his powers similar to what the baby Metroid did in the previous game. I am so sorry about that. That is rude of me. That is an alarm I had. But you absorb the SAX and you get the SAX's powers, and you're basically like full strength Samus, basically, and you get the ice beam and you're able to destroy the huge Metroid along with it. And you know what? I wasn't going to. I just should have anyways. I am going to show you the boss that I'm talking about real quick. Just real quick. This guy, look at him. Ugh, ugly. Ugly. Omega Metroid, right. This guy, massive, huge. This is another form of Metroids. That little blob thing turns into that. That's crazy. But you fight that at the end with her iconic ship that she has at the end of that game. That's the SAX that you had to fight at one point. You fight it in that form. That's when it mutates. And of course, it's taken on the form of a fully strength Samus. But that was just a real quick glimpse for you guys. But I'm surprised they didn't mention that here and show it. It's a very important part. I mean, that's literally the last boss. But good to know, gameplay improvements in the Metroid Fusion game. The streamlined controls, such as for switching weapons and diagonal shooting, help evolve the gameplay to feel much smoother than in previous games. Samus also has more moves at her disposal than ever before, such as hanging off ledges, which we see return in Metroid Dread. I am so excited for that. The SAX is a tremendous threat that Samus comes across many times over the course of the Metroid Fusion game. Each encounter where Samus runs or hides from the SAX was an in-game event that springs on the player. However, we thought, what would happen if we evolved this? This line of thinking greatly affected the concept of the EMI sections in the Metroid Dread game. Also, as the Metroid Fusion game is a direct prequel to the Metroid Dread game, you will find many threads weaving the two stories together. For example, the reason why Samus's suit looks the way it does and the appearance of the Atom computer AI in Metroid Dread are directly connected to the events of Metroid Fusion. Yeah, throughout Metroid Fusion, you get orders from the AI computer Atom, who was basically your officer before. He was like your commanding officer before. I think from the Galactic Federation. And you grow a close bond with this guy, and he's kind of like a father figure to you, and his mind is basically put in an AI, and you hold that dearly to you in Metroid Fusion. And it's a trip because the AI kind of gets like a sense of self-awareness, and it kind of takes on the thoughts and ideas and what would basically Adam do in this situation when Samus is kind of in distress. And there's a lot that they didn't mention here. I would highly recommend just looking at a recap of the series that goes more in depth, because there's a lot that they're missing in the Metroid, the most important part, Metroid Fusion part. No doubt though, it's a fantastic blog, great blog, no doubt. But this part should have been a little more heavier on the background of this game, because as they said, this is the most important, because it's the most significant, because it is literally that prequel. This is what you play, this is what you're going into. Because usually Metroid games kind of slide into the next one from one to the other. They kind of slip into each other. So Metroid 1 slips into 2. 2, right at the end, how she finds the baby, the hatchling, and brings it to the station. Brings it to the space station. That's literally the very beginning. This is the space station you're in, that you brought the baby to. You literally just dropped it off, leaving the space station, and then it starts getting attacked. You get a distress signal on your ship that is getting attacked, and you have to turn around. Literally that quick. The events of Metroid 2 and Metroid 3 or Super Metroid are that close behind each other. So like that example. Metroids usually kind of slide into from one to the other. Same with Fusion, and I'm guessing same with Fusion and Dread. They're kind of gonna slide into each other. So yeah, and once again, I'll take a look at the trailer with you guys. So there's a Chozo right there, Samus, and then she's looking at the scribes on the wall, and look at her, badass, brown. And there's a Chozo, which is most likely an enemy Chozo. Yup, they basically, there's bad Chozo and good Chozo. And basically, the bad Chozo killed the good Chozo, and that's some of the endgame screens. Sorry for the spoilers, I'm bad at telling you guys before that. But at this endgame screens, one of the endgame screens you can unlock in Samus Returns on the 3DS is these other Chozo coming and killing these good ones, and that basically pisses Samus off at the end. You can see all like her eyes, or like quickly flashing, some stuff quickly flashing, and it's showing her getting pissed. Yeah, see, there's one of the Chozo dead, and then this big guy who we see in the trailer with all these, we see him in the Metroid Dread trailer, and then all of his soldiers. This is the Chozo dead, and she gets pissed. You can see that. Oh, I am so ready. Then the music too. Oh man, I am so freaking ready for this game. Glimpse of Dread. Yes, it is. This is so great. Great time to be alive. And it gives you a little teaser at what's next to come for the next report. In the next Metroid Dread report, the secret to Samus' strength, or to Samus Aran's strength. Please look for it soon. It's no mystery to some. Most people know, as they mentioned in Metroid Fusion, in order for her to survive, the baby saved her once again, and the baby's DNA on the suit, when the baby Metroid saves you at the end of Metroid or Super Metroid, it dies and its particles are absorbed into Samus' suit, and it basically makes you overcharge and allows you to defeat Mother Brain. Well, that DNA that went all over your suit, that's what the Federation grabbed a sample of and injected into you. And that's some what do they call it? DNA from the Metroid, and that's what allows you to survive the SAX and make you immune to it. So she's not only injected with now a Metroid, but in order for her at the beginning, this is like the origin of Samus. At the beginning, what's his name? dude, I'm a fan of the series, but I can't even remember her master. Basically, the one who teaches her. Basically, Samus grew up on planet Zebes, and Mother Brain was a good thing at first and was created by the Chozo. And she's taken in by the Chozo when their planet's attacked by the space pirates, and her parents are killed by Ridley. She is injected with, she's on a different planet at first. That's when they get attacked by space pirates. But then the Chozo arrive, take Samus to Zebes. But in order for Samus to survive the harsh climates in Zebes, they inject her with some of their DNA. So she's not only Chozo DNA, but she's also Metroid DNA. So I mean, I guess when people call her Metroid, they're not all the way wrong. They're technically right, even though it is Samus, but they're technically right when they call her Metroid because she literally is a Metroid now. So that's what basically is the secrets to her power and her strength. That's a bit of it. And I have a feeling this is going to mention a lot of Zero Mission's story, the ending that they mentioned up there that I was telling you about when she first gets her Various suit. But can't wait. Cannot wait. October 8th is going to be such a great... October alone is going to be a great month. I know a few good games coming out in October, and Halloween Kills, the new Halloween movie. I know that's kind of sidetracked, but I can't wait for the next iteration of the Halloween series. But nonetheless, I'm excited. Cannot wait for October 8th. Did I say August 8th? I don't know, but October 8th is the drop of Metroid Dread, which I still don't have my hands on a collector's edition of because everyone took them all. That's fine though. Cannot wait for the series nonetheless. Cannot wait for the game. Cannot wait for Metroid Prime 4. What's up with that? Where's that at? I don't know, but I have faith that their retro's handling it just right. Nonetheless, happy 35th Metroid anniversary to you all. It's gonna be a good day. A Metroid day. It's not a good day without Metroid. Cannot wait. I most likely will be doing the gameplay. I know I said I probably wasn't. Most likely am going to be doing a Metroid Dread gameplay on my channel. But nonetheless, I love you guys. Thank you all for watching. Let me know how excited you guys are in the comments and of Metroid and what your first Metroid was and how anticipated you are at this next Metroid. I'd want to know. And if you think you're a greater fan than me, that's up for debate. I'm the greatest fan there ever was. Period. You can fight me. I don't know what I'm doing. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll see you all. 2 videos. 2 videos yesterday. A video today. Am I getting consistent? Oh, man. Nonetheless, love you guys. See, my headphones literally just fell off on my head. I'm not even joking. If you guys could see this, I look absolutely ridiculous right now. What the hell? I gotta get new freaking headphones. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.